from 2020 is The Last Matinee. Now, I got this from Darkstar, imported from the States. It's also available in Arrow Video as well, and on the Arrow Video channel. Now, this movie is set in the early 80s, and it takes place on a rainy night in Montevideo as we see Anna, a young student who goes to see her father, who's a projectionist at a cinema. He's been working all day. His cover has phoned in sick, and Anna, being the dutiful daughter, decides to send her father home. She knows what she's doing. She'll take care of this final movie to let him go home and rest and recuperate. Of course, things are never going to go as planned. And over the next 10-15 minutes, we meet all the patrons kind of moving into this theatre to watch this horror movie, Frankenstein, Day of the Beast. And we get to see one very strange person who's going to join them as well. A hooded serial killer who is going to slowly pick off the few patrons around the cinema whenever the notion takes him, robbing eyeballs to fill up his pickle jar, which he just loves to carry around with him as well. It's a movie that's kind of steeped in neon. It's born within movie culture, and it does a lot with kind of, I'd say, almost Italian horror vibes about it as well. A lot of the characters are kind of one-dimensional. When you spend a little bit of time with each of the factions and the groups within this very large cinema as they kind of go about their business, whether it be the kind of nervous guy and aggressive woman that seem to be having a relationship but are completely mismatched, the trio of kids that have kind of jumped in there, a little bit tipsy after drinking a lot, whether it be the woman that just turns up alone, a young kid that has snuck in to watch this horror movie, or the old cantankerous man that's been just refusing to leave the cinema all day. We also get to meet the kind of usher who just can't be bothered with all the crap going on, and together we have our group of victims to be picked off one by this brutal killer who loves to do such gory deaths, and we get to spend time on these wonderful effects which are truly exemplary and one of the standout things of the movie. Now, for a movie that's 88 minutes, it does take a little while to kick-start, but once the gore happens, we're kind of on a roller coaster to the end of the line on this one, and it follows a lot of the tropes of slasher movies that you would expect. We have our final girl, we have all our victims being picked off one by one, we have people seemingly unable to notice the fact that people have been brutally murdered within this theatre, as everyone seems to be focused on the most compelling movie of all time. I like The Last Matinee for what it tries to do. It tries to embody that 80s aesthetic of slasher. It really goes for the gore when it can. We get some characters that are fun to spend time with, but none of them are really compelling enough to make it last long or to want to see them return in any kind of sequels whatsoever. The bad guy is formidable, and I do like the way that he is brutal with his victims, causing as much grievous bodily harm as he can inflict in such a small period of time, and the camera really lingers on that disgusting gore that looks oh so great. The Last Matinee is fun. It is an homage to 80s slasher movies. It doesn't quite live up to the aesthetics of them because it's a little bit too polished, a little bit too clean, a little bit too expert in some of its gore. But it's still a fun and easy watch. One that I enjoyed some of the characters, one that I was shocked with some of the deaths early on. Some of the non-horror stuff is remarkably quite funny. Certain points, particularly the sort of vampy woman who is almost toying with her male partner that's with her. She is just a wonderful character to spend time with, and The Last Matinee is a hell of a lot of fun. Now, the Arrow disc and this Dark Star disc share a lot of similar extras. There is the director's first movie, Puppet Pal V, in this one, but also on this disc there is a third feature film as well, which is Frankenstein Day of the Beast, the movie that they are watching within this movie, which didn't come on the Arrow disc. And also, getting this in from America turned out to be cheaper than actually buying the Arrow video version here from the UK, which is just crazy. I would love to know your thoughts on The Last Matinee if you've seen it. Did you like the gore? Did you like that throwback to the 80s aesthetic? Are you scratching your head wondering why a movie set in the 80s has the tagline, no talking, no texting, no breathing, when texting was still decades away? Don't care. The movie's kind of fun, gory, throwaway, fun and forgettable. I'd love to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comment box below. We'll have a little discussion about this one. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff if you so wish. If you want to hit that like button, it means that nobody's going to pickle my eyes and eat them, which, you know, I kind of need them for watching movies and stuff like that. And if you want to join me on the membership program or Patreon, that would be fantastic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.